Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. I'm joined here, as always, with super fans Heath Goldman, Riley Goldman, and Devin Circus. And this is the Week 17 Jungle Talk recap. So, who day? First of all, before I forget, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. This is a show by fans for fans. We don't try to sell you anything. Just support the channel. It's all we ask. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get the alerts when we put up videos. And please give us the thumbs up and help us out with the analytics. Riley, tell them where they can find you on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter at sportsball with 3 L's at the end, and then on Instagram, RileyG_photos.
There you go. So I'll just throw this out there. This game was kind of a microcosm of our whole season. I mean, Higgins is in, Higgins is out, Chase is playing hurt. We're not getting calls. Browning's holding the ball too long. Like I said, it was just a microcosm of the whole season. There are some bright things we'll talk about that have nothing to do with this game, just for the long term about not winning. But that's the way it was. I mean, we played a good first half, and then obviously we still haven't figured out how to play the last 2 minutes of a half. I don't understand that at all. But and that's kind of where things just kind of started going downhill, was the last 2 minutes of the first half. They played a near perfect half for 28 minutes. Unfortunately, the half's 30 minutes. So I'll throw it out there. You guys can jump in with whatever you want to throw your 2 cents in.
I'm going to say it before Devin does, because I know he's going. I know he's going to have to say it. If I didn't, that play call on 4th and 1 at the end of the first half, literally could have been one of the worst play calls I've ever seen. Now, somebody
end of the first half.
Yeah, we were 4th and 1. And they gave the ball to Mixon, and they literally let
you
the
mean
man
the first drive of the second half?
That was second half.
Was it second half already?
You're talking about the one at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
First drive of the second half. That was my next thing to talk about.
Somebody didn't know what the call was. I mean, you cannot let the nose guard literally come unimpeded up the middle when you're trying to run up the middle. Something's wrong.
But I will say you're 100% right. You have to go for it there.
100%.
It's the right call.
Yeah, for sure.
The play, you stack the line on the right and you go right up the middle. I will say, at least it wasn't the Jamar Chase jet sweep around.
Yes, that never works. So,
but no, Heath, you're right. You're right. It was awful. Look, go play action. You got all these tight ends. Although they had just wasn't that the same drive where the second down play when Browning fell? Was that the same drive?
Yeah, well, he got run over by one of his lines.
He tripped over him, which is probably a similar play that I would have liked there. No, do something different. Run, go wide, do something. But yeah, no, that's a great point that somebody had to. A nose guard can't get through that quickly, can't beat a professional lineman that badly, probably without something going wrong.
Yeah, and they brought in the jumbo package. They brought in the extra
we were loaded up on the right, which means why are you running up the middle if you're loaded right?
Yeah. So, it's been like that all season. Situationally, we haven't made the play when we had to make it, where the past 2 seasons we have. And that's been kind of the difference in this year. I mean, in addition to not having Burrow and some other things, but that's been kind of the difference. So
I will say, if I can jump in, Mark.
Yeah.
First half was as much fun watching a game as I've had all year. I mean, look, they're not the same team. They're still the Chiefs, as we saw very early when, Jamar was mixing it up with 2 guys all game. It wasn't just Reed. It was I forgot the other guy's name, but it was Reed and the other guy.
Yeah.
It got chippy right away. They were saying it. What is this? The fifth matchup within 2 calendar years.
Yeah.
Play him again next year. So this is going to be fun for hopefully many more years. But so my point was, not the same Chiefs team of the last couple of years, but it's still the Chiefs, still Patrick Mahomes. To go blow to blow with them and take a lead in the first half and be up 10. Browning looked phenomenal, scrambling. The line was doing a great job. We did it and that was without T, because T went out early.
Right.
First half was great. Drew Sample, 3 receptions in the first half. Defense did nothing. Allowed nothing in the air. Pacheco's a beast. Our run defense, we know it's beat up with no Rieger. Pacheco was going to get his yards. They did nothing in the air. At one point, I think it was halfway through the third, we were 8 of 11, converting on third down. Half of those Browning had on scrambles, a couple of them on, design dives. But look, we played great for, I don't know, 35, 40 out of the 60 in different spurts. And
Right.
they were better. Pacheco was great. Rashee Rice is great. We don't have all the answers. And, like I've been saying for the last month, do I want to see us get hot and go to the playoffs? Sure. Would I mind if we went over and had a top 10 pick with a 4th place schedule? Yeah, that would be great, but I'm not going to root for it. What I've been saying is I want to see this team compete. I want to show heart. I want to show a culture. I want to show character. I want to show a place where people want to come to play. And I think we've done that year in and year out. I mean, week in and week out since Burrow got hurt.
I'll say, Riley, let me say one thing to that point, and then I saw you getting ready to jump in there. And to Devin's point, every one of if you're going to look at like plus and minus to everything he just said, that's where our holes are, right? We're weak on the defensive line. We can't stop the run. We're weak one. We're missing one strong cornerback in the back because that throw to Rice, that was a bad burn. So everything Devin just said, absolutely correct. That tells you where the weaknesses are if you want to come across the line from everything he just said, whether it be on the offensive side or the defensive side. The offense, and I mean, we've got him for a lot of years left, and it was a huge contract. Brown Jr. got beat more times today by his old teammates than you want to see your left tackle get beat. But Devin's point is well taken, and I think that just sums up the entire season as you started with, Mark.
Yeah, and I want to throw something out there. I want to give kudos to our defense. I mean, even without DJ Reader, there was a bend but don't break. They kept the team in the game, even though they scored no points in the second half. And Harrison Butker was the big scorer for which not Mahomes, not Pacheco. I mean, it was Butker with 5 field goals or something. So
exactly right.
As badly as we got beat in the second half, we still had 2 drives in the end with a chance to win and then tie. And look, what else can you ask for? If we would have said 3.5 hours ago, Browning's going to have a drive down 5 and then down 8 with 5 minutes and then 2 minutes left, plenty of time with timeouts. Let's go.
Right. So on the plus side, and I'm just looking forward because now this one's in the books. But on the plus side, we now know we have a viable backup in Browning. He can come in and win games. So that's a huge plus because we didn't think we had that in the beginning of the season. And then we did lock up the 4th place schedule. So we're going to have we have an elite quarterback who's going to have a 4th place schedule. I know it's only affecting 3 games, but that's something good. And we'll be in the middle of the draft. We're going to have a draft pick in the teens probably. So
this very second, it's definitely in the teens.
Right.
We're 16 right now. It can't get much better than 19 with a win, and it could get anywhere near as low as 11, 12, 13.
Right. So
and then Riley, I know we keep jumping on you. I'm sorry. Speaking of draft, to Heath's point, Jake had a phenomenal tweet right when the game was over. It was, something along the lines of, "Dear Bengals, go draft a corner, an interior lineman, and a pass rusher. Tag T, take advantage of the 4th place schedule." And I think that's
it. No.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are pluses. And one of the big things is I was going to say when Burrow went down, we initially thought, going off of what we saw in preseason, that we could lose out. Okay. Because I had zero faith in Browning. Browning matured. He showed the first outing was bad against the Steelers, but then he won 3 in a row. Granted, they were lesser teams. And even today against the Chiefs, he scrambled. He made some heady plays. Is he Joe Burrow? No, not at all. But he's definitely a viable backup. And so now we don't have to worry. There's no going Gardner Minshew or Heineke or somebody next year. We know we have our backup. And I think the team hung in there behind him. So I don't think he wants to leave.
Riley, say a word, and I want to throw something on top of Mark there for a second.
Go for it.
I mean, if we're just talking about Jake Browning, it was his first game of these whatever number run he's been on that he didn't throw for 200 yards. This Chiefs defense has been outstanding this year. So I'm not blaming him for not throwing for 200, but you're not beating this team if you're throwing for under 200 yards. It's especially with the way our run game works, where pass offense, Mixon only at 65. We're not winning with 250 yards in a game.
Right. So,
it'd be interesting. It's going to be real interesting to see. David made a comment about tagging T. I guess the money makes sense at that level. But then you got to wonder if you could go out and package a few players. I mean, Jake Browning can start on a lot of teams in this league. I think he showed you that too. I guess it just all depends on really what you can bring to reinforce the team.
You're saying to trade Browning?
No, I'm just saying in terms of looking at options, he is an absolute trade target at this point. I mean, he's on a cheap contract. I get it. But there are teams that are going to give you something for that guy.
Dude, you pay attention to trades in the NFL? Amari Cooper was traded for a 5.
Look how that worked out for Dallas.
No, Amari Cooper on
that's
Cleveland.
How the NFL works.
No, he was on Dallas, Mark.
Yeah.
Look how that worked out for Dallas.
But that's how trades work in the NFL. I mean, Chase Young got a 3 or a 2 and a 5.
He got a 2 and a 2 and a something.
Yeah.
But could you trade T?
You have to tag. You can tag him and trade.
Tag and then trade.
Yeah. So, but
the team has
which is with this draft with this wide receiver draft. Look, the Bengals aren't big traders, but it's absolutely something that will be talked about.
Right.
It'll be talked a lot by Bengals Twitter. I'm not saying it's going to be talked a lot by the front office, but there's plenty of teams that would gladly give him his, 4 or 5 year, $25 million contract right now.
Oh yeah, well the Bears probably being one of them.
And they've got a lot of assets, and I'm on record. I said this morning before the game, I said it's December 31st, 2023. Mark my words. The Bears will not draft Caleb Williams. They're going to trade out of that pick. They've already got a ton of picks from last year. They're going to have more this year. That absolutely will come into play. They could wind up with 3 first-rounders this year. I'm telling you right now, if we can get our hands on their pick, which will be 6, 7, 8, take Malik Neighbors and a second or a 4 with it, sign me up.
Right. Well,
and because think about it, if you get a receiver almost as good as T, you already got Jamar. It resets the clock on the age and the con. Now T's young, so the age will be somewhat moot because he's really young. But it resets the 4-year cycle on the contracts. And Malik Neighbors is a difference maker day one. We'll get into that. Mark,
we're going to do draft shows.
Wait, no. I'm having an enjoyable time, and we're talking about something fun and positive. Because I got to tell you something. It wasn't that the outcome of this game badly hurt.
So
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know how deep a run we make in the postseason. Part of me was like, exactly, I wanted to be competitive. I didn't want to fold up the tents, but it wasn't devastating to lock up the 4th place schedule for Burrow next year. Just not.
Yep.
This team with that, once Reeder went down, our ability to really kind of win an ugly playoff game kind of went away because we can't stop the run. So
that's something they're going to have to
that position in the draft.
Even when Reeder was in there were times we were getting gashed on the defense. So that is something that we are going to have to stop.
That's going to be the most intriguing thing of the offseason. I have no clue what is available in the interior defensive line. I know that, interior defensive linemen do not get drafted in the first round. So it's going to take scouting. It's going to take, whether that's a 2nd, 3rd round pick. You put a gun to my head right now, and I'm going to tell you, take a cornerback in the 1st round, take a D lineman, a pass rusher in the 2nd round, and then go offensive line and interior defensive line. Pass rusher's got to be for quarterback, pass rusher, 1st, 2nd, depending on how it falls. I love Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama. They'd be my number 1.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So that's it. Bengals are officially eliminated, so there doesn't have to be any more playoff talk. They can win next week. Does the Browns game mean anything to them?
It means absolutely nothing. They're completely locked in. And all we'll have left is the Twitter war between 2 groups of fans that absolutely hate each other. The Bengals will wind up winning and talking smack, and Browns it'll get stupid. No, the Browns, as banged up as they are, they're definitely going to rest some guys next year. It means nothing to them.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something right now. It should mean a lot to the Bengals because an offer in the division is nothing to be going home with.
No, I think we come out and we finished 9-8. So it's not a losing season.
Winning season will be nice.
Yeah, and end the season on a positive note, on a good game for Browning. So we'll cover all that in our preview coming up this week. So
you want to, before you wrap us up, Mark, you want to completely non-Bengal related, but
sure.
Bengal adjacent. Buffalo Bills play Miami next week.
Yeah.
If Buffalo wins, they win the division and they're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
If they lose and Pittsburgh wins, Buffalo's out of the playoffs.
Wow. So now I think
they cannot win the wild. They cannot get a wild card spot if Pittsburgh.
Well,
wins.
that is kind of and we'll get the schedule announced by the NFL. They want to make sure they have to line up the games so teams that affect one another are playing at the same time. That's why everything's TBA next week.
The other fun one is all 3 AFC South teams can win the division, can make the playoffs, and could be out.
Right.
Any and all 3 of them.
Yeah, no, the Saints kind of threw a monkey wrench in today going into Tampa, which surprised me. I didn't think.
No, AFC South. That Tennessee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Indy.
Yeah.
Tampa's still in the driver's seat in the NFC.
Yeah, no, they just need to win their game. But no, it's crazy. So and Houston looked like Houston again with Stroud back today. So we'll see how that plays out.
Glad we don't have to play them next year. We'll take Tennessee with our 4th place schedule.
Yeah, there you go. So absolutely. So
and it's probably locked up. Our 4th place schedule gives us Tennessee guaranteed, New England guaranteed, and Carolina guaranteed. Those are all locked up. So we actually know our 17 opponents next year.
Yeah, no, but wouldn't we have? I mean, there's other divisions. How do we pull them from? What are the interconference and
we play the Chiefs division.
So we play the West.
AFC
okay.
West.
We won't have that last place team. Well, we will already.
No. The rest is the whole division.
Right. Now we're playing the whole division. I'm just saying the extra 3 teams come from the divisions we're not playing.
So
not our division.
I'll pull it up right here.
Yeah.
You're saying Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers?
Yeah. But the Chargers don't count as the last place team in the fill-in because we're already playing them. That's
do we know if those games are home or away though?
No, we don't know that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you do.
Oh.
We play Chargers in LA.
Go to that game. Hello. I already see us all there.
SoFi, I'm in. So it's AFC West, Denver and Raiders at home, Chiefs and Chargers on the road, back at Arrowhead. We play NFC East, Eagles and Commanders at home, Dallas and Giants on the road. There's the third. Oh yeah, the third is and then AFC East will be the Pats, NFC South will be the Panthers, and AFC South will be the Titans. So
we do not know when those games are yet. Correct?
Yeah, that's done in June.
Yeah. So May. I did schedule in May.
Is it May?
Yeah.
Riley, you did hear where I'll be for the Cincinnati Dallas game, right? I'll be sitting on the 50. I'm putting my request in today for that game.
Does Sydney have hookups?
My a good buddy of mine that I do a lot of business with invited me to go down to the Dallas Eagles game. 3 weeks ago? I didn't send you those pictures. 3 weeks ago, and Daddy, Daddy Father of the Year award that day. She was on the field before the game. She was sitting on the 50, two doors down from the CEO of the Mavericks, who gave her personal cell phone, and then was on the Star after the game.
Wow.
I'll send them to you when I'm done.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Lock me in, and probably Jake too. I'm with you guys. We'll buy tickets together at SoFi.
Good. No,
been there yet?
Unfortunately, Mark Riley and I have.
So we will. I'm really looking forward to it. We don't have to travel for one of the games. So, and who knows? Maybe we do a road trip.
None of you have kid commitments to take you out of town, and you get screwed like I did this year.
Yeah, no, we were supposed to meet us in Arizona. So
Riley plays the spring sport, so it's not going to be him, and my daughter retired, so I know I'm good.
There you go. So that's the best news we got from this show. For me, is we're going to be at SoFi next year watching the Bengals Chargers. So
by the way, sorry, Mark, in 2025, our slated games, we don't go west of the Mississippi. It's Buffalo, Green Bay, Miami, Minnesota away,
Right.
But our slotted game is AFC West. So if the Bengals can win the division and the Chargers win the division with Jim Harbaugh as coach, write that
Right.
down.
Yeah, well, I write that down.
We'll
There you
have
go.
the Chargers
That's his first prediction.
2025
There's the nugget. So
You know what? If he, as much as I despise that school, him and his brother could be two of the best football minds you'll see in the
yeah.
game.
Oh,
For him not to leave and have to deal with the NCAA and all the other bullshit and
He's gonna
recruiting,
pull a Pete Carroll.
he is an absolute moron if he decides to stay at that school.
he won't. He
Yeah.
won't.
I've got a buddy that works in football, and the coach that he works for and knows him well has said that for whatever reason, the Chargers job is the job that Harbaugh's always wanted. And you give him Justin Herbert, and that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like I said, it'll be exciting. And we could be there for the first Zach Taylor, other Harbaugh brother showdown.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
All right. Well, one thing we said we were going to do at the beginning of the show is we got to wish everybody a happy New Year.
Yes, yes.
Just be safe. I actually have to go take a nap. We're going out for the adult party that doesn't start till 8:30 for the first time in like 20 years. I'm like, I don't even know how to stay up to 8:30, let alone stay up to midnight.
Didn't we
Yeah.
used to do New Year's at your house back in the day when the kids were young?
We were a lot younger too, my friend.
Yeah. It's
And
If the kids were
9.
young, that was your first two.
Right.
That was 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I could hang at 30. I'm not sure I can hang at 50.
yeah.
Nope.
So
No desire.
there you go. So yes, do have a happy and a safe New Year's Eve, everybody. We will be back with a preview of the Browns game coming up this week, and obviously a recap afterwards. Jake or Riley, remind them where they can find you.
On Twitter at sportsball with 3 L's and on Instagram, RileyG_photos.
There you go. And
Hey, Riley, where are you on X?
that's he just gave it to you.
Such an
I'm
old
still calling
man.
it.
No, he said Twitter.
refuse.
I know.
I
I
was wondering where X was.
You're seriously such an old man.
So
Yeah.
the app formerly known as Twitter. There you go. And if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Show by fans, for fans. So have a happy and safe New Year. And I'm gonna say, hoot everybody.
Who that?
Okay.
Who dat?